going on, man? Welcome back to another video, man. You guys are watching Free Smoke, man, with yours truly, FaTKaT. Right here below, we have Illest of Ills 392. Right here, we have Modern Day Muscle. And then catty corner right there is Garage Driven, man. What is going on, fellas? How are you guys feeling today?
Spectacular.
Good. Great. Doing great.
Everybody's good, man. We here with another video for you guys, man. Before we get into this video, man, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the all button next to that notification bell so you can catch all of these videos that we got coming out for y'all literally on a daily basis. On top of going live every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern, man. You do not want to miss it. So we have special guests in the building, man. The last 2 weeks we've had them, and we're going to try to continue to do that. You know what I'm saying? Every single Sunday, man, for good entertainment and content for you guys, man. And when we say special guests, we mean like some big time heavy hitters in the YouTube world, in the IG world, Instagram, all that good stuff, man. So like I said, we're going to try to bring some guys that you guys follow, some big guys that you guys follow, or guys or gals, you know what I'm saying, and try to get some good content for y'all. But anyway, man, one other thing, last thing I'm going to say is in the description below, man, we have all of our individual social medias, whether if it's IG, YouTube, or whatnot. Man, go down there, click on all of those links, man. Follow us, subscribe, whatever it is that social media entails for you to do. And we would greatly appreciate that love individually. That is where you're going to find all of our individual builds and what we got going on with our own cars, man. So make sure you guys check that out as well. Anyway, enough for all the preliminaries. Got a quick question for you guys. This is actually another, you know, all the topics you come with are pretty good thus far. And this is another good one. Now, granted, we drive American cars. So people with American cars normally sway in one direction when it comes to these things that I'm about to ask you right now. But let's say you were building your perfect car, man. I mean, you're building a car, and when I mean building, this time I'm specifically talking about performance-wise, right? So you're building a car that's going to be all-out performance, and now it comes down to that forced induction, right?
Yep.
What would be your choice? Again, money doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, whatever. Like, what is your choice as far as what is going to give you the better results? Would you go turbo or supercharger for forced induction? Garage driven. I want to hear what you got to say about this first, man. What would you do?
Gotta be turbo, bro. All day.
Ooh.
Honestly,
okay.
Like for my personal preference, if I was building my 392, it'll be probably a twin turbo setup on that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like this. Honestly, there's no supercharge is cool and all. Like, you know, you get boosts all the way through the whole power, you know, the whole RPM band. Like, you know what I'm saying? The supercharger it's on a belt, so it's always there when you accelerate. But there's nothing like that turbo hit. When that turbo hit, whether it's 4,500 RPM, that thing just be like, as soon as that shit hits at like 45, oh, it's go time. So honestly, I just like that feeling better than that, and you know, supercharged. So I prefer turbo just because of that. You know what I'm saying? So, and just you can't beat that blow off valve noise, everything. It's just all of it, man. It's coming to play, like, you know what I'm saying? That makes me say turbo. So I ride that than supercharged. I don't know. That's my take on it. Turbo all day.
Hey, I feel you on that, man. My Modern Day Muscle, what do you say?
Oh, sorry, I didn't. But so I did some research on both of them because I knew about both turbos and superchargers, but I want to do some research. So based off my research, it seems like the turbos are more efficient because they use the exhaust gases from the combustion process. But on the downside, what Paul was saying, it takes time to build the power, right? Versus the supercharger, it's instant power, but it's less efficient because it's robbing the engine of horsepower to turn into what Paul was saying. But I think from like a cost standpoint and a retrofitting standpoint, I think I would go with the turbo because they're easier to put into cars, and the cost that you pay for it, I think, is less than putting a Supercharger on. And I also like the sound of the Turbocharger as well. The turbo, yeah.
I agree with that. Illest the Illest 392. What do you say?
I mean, obviously, with a lot of cars nowadays, just it really just depends on what platform we're talking about. A lot of people with our cars do the either Whipple or if you got a Hellcat, like obviously a stock blower. I don't know. I like Paul's idea. That's one thing that I looked at too, was not so much for mine, but just in general, was twin turbo. Just because you don't see it a lot. Obviously, everybody usually does the blower for cars like ours, which obviously the Supercharger whine is cool, but man, there's just something about that blow off from turbos. Like a good 2JZ Supra, or like that I think. Or like an R34, Nissan, the GTR. Yeah, the Skyline, a GTR. But I think the 2JZ Supra is like the pinnacle for that turbo noise. But yeah, I mean, it really just depends on kind of the application. I don't really see any supercharged Supras. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense. It's almost like I don't know, it takes the purity out of the 2JZ, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it's me. If I had a choice, if I had all of it sitting in front of me, money really didn't matter, whatever, I'd probably twin turbo. I don't know. I've seen some videos of like Chargers. There's some Challengers out there. There's other different types of American cars with them. I don't know. I think the turbochargers it's just pure to me.
Hey, you know what the best thing about a turbocharger is? With the external wastegate. When the wastegate dumps externally, not through the exhaust, when it comes outside, so it's like a bypass pipe. Then when the car goes in the boost, it dumps out. The exhaust starts dumping out onto the actual atmosphere. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that noise, you can't get that noise nowhere else, man.
What a lot of these guys, with that anti-lag that a lot of these guys have now, it's just hold it down, rev it up, let go. And you're gone. So even if you're like roll race on the highway, you're doing things like that, or even from a stop, or from a dig, it's either way. I mean, I think that kind of takes a lot of the, I don't know, want to call it downside, but some of that out of that turbo talk. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but every time I hear the word turbo, I think of 2JZ Supra, and that sound. There's no better sound than that car with that turbo. To me,
I 100% agree with each and every single one of you guys. Now,
damn.
Now the reason why I said, more guys towards, guys with cars like us, like American cars, muscle cars, quote unquote. For some reason, a lot of people like to go supercharger with muscle cars. And honestly, I think the supercharger is correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think the supercharger is just a little bit more reliable. Just a smidget more reliable. So I think that's why a lot of people go with supercharger more. Because all you're really worried about is that belt mainly for the most part. And other than that, you're good to go. So I think a lot of people go supercharger for that reason. But like you guys said, and I will say this too, most car manufacturers, especially muscle cars, they go supercharger. So you talk about Corvettes, talk about our cars. Talk about the Hellcats and Demons and all. They're all supercharger. So so there is a good argument as to why they do that, right?
Yeah.
It might be dependability, like you said, dependability.
Yeah, it might be the dependability.
Right? Yeah, that's exactly why.
Also, too, the supercharger that they're putting, I'm pretty sure when they were building the car, they had the supercharger. They made sure the supercharger would fit perfectly inside that car as well. So.
And also with a turbo
as well.
Yeah, with a turbo, there's more components to it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
You gotta have intercoolers. You gotta have intercoolers. If you're going twin turbo, more than likely probably two intercoolers, like, or a special type of double ported intercooler, whatever the case is.
Because all these manufacturers that go turbo, for instance, like all these, like the Volkswagens, like the 1.8 Ts or the whatever, this and that, like they're all smaller. Like you don't even know they're in there, like super small. Like you know what I'm saying, and granted, a lot of people used to, back in the day with the GTIs and all that, they used to, get downpipes and everything else, and and upgrade their turbos. But I agree with you guys, man, because there is nothing turns heads on a car. Like you can hear a whine all day, like, oh damn, you know, that whine sounded dope. But if there's a car that's driving by you and it goes, you stop
like, oh.
and you turn, you're like, oh shit. You're like, oh, okay. Especially if it's like a loud one, again, like the Supra. Or we have them wastegates with woo, you know what I'm saying, like that. When it's coming off, oh my god! Like I know I probably did a bad example of it, but you guys know, man. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Turbo sound is it got to be the best out there. So twin turbo, like I said, if I was building a perfect car that I would think was a perfect car, it would have to be a turbo setup, and obviously, if I could help it, a manual at that, because then you could control that, you know what I'm saying, that wastegate or that blow off valve sound.
Yeah. It's easier, with a manual.
Whenever you want to, right? Like I said, I mean that it literally just turns heads. Like, and matter of fact, Garage Driven, that's what I was gonna say too. Like to your point, there's something about that kick. I mean, I remember back in the day, bro, when I was young, like we used to, me and my friends, we used to be excited about VTEC in the Honda. Just because, and you wasn't going anywhere, just because it was an extra. Oh,
that kick, that VTEC hit, that VTEC hit. That's just like,
and your turbo was turning off the air conditioner. That was your turbo, the cheap way.
But something about that extra kick when you hit those certain RPMs and that thing just kick in. There's something about that, man. So I would definitely go turbo as well.
Hey, that's funny though. Back in the day, for real, you'd be like, you race somebody. Yo, I have my AC on. Hold on, let me turn it off. Like, damn, I have my AC on, bro. Now I'll press with someone on the road or something. I don't even think about it, bro. I just get on it.
It just stays on.
Back in the day. AC on, all that good stuff, man. So, but yeah, man. So, like I said, I agree with you guys. Definitely turbo all the way. Man, I know there's gonna be a bunch of people that watch our, that know us individually. Gonna be like, what are you guys talking about?
Just opinions. Just
opinions.
Calm your panties.
So another thing that I wanted. So another thing, right? So, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but with the turbo, there's more power potential because it's more efficient. But with the supercharger, there's less power potential because of the way it goes. It was about even the power over to the engine, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I think so, and I think again, I've never had a car with a lot of, big forced induction. Actually, I don't think I've had any car. I mean, other than like manufacturer wise, but like as far as aftermarket forced induction, like making big power, I don't think I've ever had that. So again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think turbo is easier to. It's more like controllable. Like you could control it more. Like turn up my boost, turn down my boost, whatever. Like literally on a dial. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, like if you set it up like that. So I think turbo is a little bit more. It's more driver oriented where you can control it as
you can control it. Yeah, you can turn the boost down just by the boost controller. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. Right.
Yeah. So that's like So I was one of those guys with a 1.8T. I had it in my Jetta 1.8 turbo, and I went ahead and changed the turbo out from the KO3 to the KO4 turbo. And you know what I'm saying? I got the computer flash and the exhaust done. Everything was all done. You know what I mean? Cold air intake, everything, blow off valve, all that good stuff. And man, the car ran pretty good. And the dude that did my computer, he added like a two-step option to it. Where I think I know that's what I had to do. I had to have the clutch all the way in, and once I hit the gas pedal all the way down, it wouldn't rev past a certain amount, and it would do the two-step. And that shit would like pop, 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 pop. I'm like, damn, this technology was crazy back then. For that being like 06, I think it was around that time I had that. Yeah.
Regardless of whichever way you go, I mean, the tune I think is almost everything.
Yeah,
so you can do a turbo, a supercharger, whatever. But if you have a shitty tune, none of it even matters. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough about them to be like an expert tuner and tell which one is better based on the tune. But it just depends on who's doing your tuning and so forth. There's a lot of people I've seen that have gone to the wrong places and got wrong tunes, and it just runs like shit.
Right.
Yeah,
and
the
with the
cars is
same
slow as
exact
hell.
setup, but just a different tune, it's like a whole other world of a vehicle. So
Yeah,
you
they
just gotta
always
make
say
sure you find
your
find the right
tuner,
tuner.
your tuner can make you or break you, man. With the power, you know.
Right.
Right.
Hey, man, but there you guys go, man. That's what we think. What would you guys do, man, if you guys had the option? Like I said, no, everybody, you know, let's just say you got two sponsors. One is a supercharger company, the other is a turbo company. And they're both like, hey, man, you can have whatever you want. It's on us. What would you choose, man? Supercharger or turbo? What would you do? And like I said, twin turbos in there as well. You could do twin turbo, whatever, man. What would you guys do, man? Put it down in the comments below. We'd love to hear y'all opinions and thoughts on that. And, you know, it's interesting what the setup is that everybody, you know, would rather go with, man. But